Question. How many pips or dollars did you guys just take a loss on US 30?
I took a $290 loss on a small account, but
Oh,
on the bigger account that I'm selling, I am up 2,600
there you go.
on my 4-hour trader setup.
Okay.
Because remember,
Okay.
I have when the white dot on the Elliott wave comes and then the super trend flips, I'm selling.
Okay. On the
So on the 4 hour, and it's
okay.
still running now. I have it to take it down up to, if you look at the daily time frame, it created a resistance around 37,855. It broke that resistance and now it's riding down to it. So that will be my final TP
Okay.
for the 4-hour sell before I see what it wants to do.
Okay.
So 2,600 minus 300, 2,300 in profit. So it's not a bad day.
Not a bad day. For the people who took a loss, something we don't often talk about is recovery trades, not revenge trading. Please, not revenge trading, but recovery trades. So it's hard to do for the masses. It's not that complex, right? One guy said $60. I don't know what your broker's doing, for what the value of that is. Alex said 590. Let's calculate how many pips it would take you to make a net break even or a net profit on this trade, right? Wait, let me first preface. This is risky. You have a 1 minute super trend flip. You have a 1 minute Elliott wave. You have a 1 minute golden strategy confluence. Lot of volume leaving the market, but that's because there was so much volume in the market, right? Scott also said it very well. These are all very, very uptrends. Okay. That news was just a reaction. We just happened to catch the wrong moment of it on US 30. It is risky, but this is with the trend. This is a good trade, even if it mismanages. Okay. In order for you to make your money back or at least break even, you need how many pips on this? Okay. And I can't say because every one of y'all's brokers and values is different. But if I am correct, give or take, this take profit should be about 2 times whatever your loss was. Approximately, there's fees, there's swaps, there's spreads, please don't take it exacting. It's never exacting at a 20% variation. But approximately, by the time you come up to this range, you should have at least made your one winning trade worth and covered your losing trade. It's a different concept that we don't talk about very often. So I am going to put my pending on NAS. I'm going to put it kind of at the break of this, that my price point exactly is going to be 17,592. This is a double risk. Okay. I do still think the analysis is sound. I think that we're in the right direction. The management tricky, that can you afford it is tricky. There's other variables, all tricky. I got to pull it up on this broker. Every one of these darn brokers are misnaming things. I'm going to have to be much smarter. Okay. This one's NAS. Nice. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you. Thank you. So I'm going to manage this in a nice little order block too. Not bad. And I'm going to show you what my next target is. 17,862-ish. 17,862-ish.
By the way, that low represents the fourth tap of the recent trend line on the daily.
We'll see. It doesn't mean that you guys might mismanage. You're still holding that buy?
Yes, I'm still holding it. I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna hold it all day. I was anticipating that it possibly would have continued down. So I did use the lowest lot size possible. And like US 30 does, it'll take these dips and then it go all the way and make a new high. So I'm like, I'm gonna hold. I'm not gonna close it at all.
Okay. So there's risk in that. There's good and bad. This is not legal or financial advice. And he's very good at what he does. It doesn't mean he's 100%. No one is. But to give you an idea, I want to talk about these things because some of us that are having the unusual success, it's because we're doing things a little different. We're also, like Shine said, we're also not too terrified of these losses like some of you guys are. There's just completely in your feels every time there's a loss. It's like, calm down, you're fine. Okay. 17,862. I want to see if I've got that level right.
Remember
This,
too, as long as the management is correct too, you can live through those losses. That's
That's part of the whole thing that can kill somebody sticking to their guns. If you take a loss and you can't emotionally get back into the next trade, that's a valid setup for you. That's not a revenge trade, like Jenny said. Then it may be that the risk is too high, and that may be what's causing you to not be pulling the trigger when the opportunities arise.
Yeah.
Exactly. A- And the other thing is because this was, counter trend trade, the news, and me knowing my instrument of US 30 and how it reacts to news. And I was expecting that it could keep dropping for a while before it does this retrace, continuation back to the upside. If it even goes up, who knows? But that's why I took the lowest lot size possible, $1 a pip. And with my account size, I could hold for as long as need be to get back into profit. I didn't do my normal 30, 40, $50 a pip, you know, um, lot size because it didn't make sense because that would be too much risk. If you're going to take a risky trade, you know, whenever I'll speak to myself, whenever I take a risky trade and it's not my highest probability setup, I use the very lowest lot size as possible. So that way I can survive being wrong and either break even or come into profit later. Or if I take a loss, it's very tiny. Like I'm down $230. That's nothing. Like I'll make 20,000 tomorrow, so I'm not even looking at the charts right now because the lowest lot size for my account is not hurting me at all. And even if I lost this, it doesn't hurt anything. But, so I just want to make sure if you're, you know, taking these trades, don't go too crazy with these lot if your account can't handle it.
Yeah. And you have to know, guys, the more I work with people around, I was on the Zoom the other day. This guy had like point 0.2. His trades were like $3. I was like, what is this about? On US 30, okay? US 30, a point 0.2. It blew my mind because it was just such an anomaly for me to see it. I know it exists. So you have to know your own lot sizes. You have to know all that stuff that is going to vary from broker to broker and person to person. But smaller is better because you can always take a recovery trade. No, notice I said recovery, not revenge. Recovery, not revenge. You have options that help you in moments like this. Tons of options. But back to the NAS, there you go. Rika said she was managing tighter. You'll notice that there's a lot of people doing various things in here. Cool. So she only took a 500 pip stop loss, which is not very much tighter stop loss, right? That's not necessarily wrong or right, but you have to be able to trade that's going to help, it's going to be mathematically sound for your management, your entries. It's got to work in back test and in forward test, right? It's got to work. There's no wrong answer. That's all. But we'll see. My not financial advice would be here as you get to break even with your loss. Okay. I would be either closing a portion, right? And or trailing and scaling. So this one, I wouldn't micromanage the same way at take profit one. I would try to get to at least recover my break even. And I would try to get at least my one trade worth of 2, right? So that means I took 2 trades. This one went for, let's just say 2 to 1. The other one was a -1. That means I still wanted 1, whatever my risk was for the day. That is not a bad way to be.